Hey, welcome back. This is Go Ask Sawyer, and I am Jamie, your host, and welcome to Season 5. Season 5 is all about putting the microphone in your hands. I want to hear what you have to say when it comes to things that you have healed from. I've talked far and wide about everything that I have gone through, anything that I have felt, and I really want to hear from you because I think the best way we learn is through community and through other people. So today I have Beth on the podcast. Beth, do you want to say hi?
Hi.
And she's going to talk about her healing journey, an event or something that she had to heal from. Because again, it doesn't always have to be, a lot of us talk about we had to heal from family or friends or breakups, and everyone has a different story. So, Beth, what is an event? What is something that you want to talk about that you've healed from or are in the process? Because healing is, of course,
A journey?
cyclical or a journey.
Okay, so for me, thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I would say and I don't think I'm fully healed. I think it's you work through it. But I would say my divorce for sure. And what did you ask me how I heal? How are you?
Okay, so let's start with that. Your divorce, that was how long ago?
Gosh, it's been so long. I don't even know. Like 10 years,
Okay.
10, 11 years.
So this has been a 10-year process. And let me ask you this, because I don't know if we all know, right? When things happen, did you know you had to heal then? Or is this something that you've been like, dang, this is not going away, or this issue, I need to do some work?
Hindsight, when it happened, I thought I was like, I don't need healing. Like, I'm fine. She was the problem, not me. Until maybe like a year after, when we tried to reconcile our differences, and I'm like, this is just not it. And my self-worth went to the toilet. So it was like a year after, I'm like, this is not, something's wrong. I need to repair something.
Okay. So it sounds like you had to repair something in yourself.
100%.
Like
100% me. That I knew it was all me.
So what have you done? We all have tools. What are some things that have been helpful to you, or what are some things that you're doing?
I think the first thing I did was to admit that I needed to fix me and not put blame on her. Because I think that was the easy fix, to be like, she's the problem.
Yeah.
But I went to counseling for a while. So much came out of that, and we can get into that if you want. So much came out of that. And I was like, wait, there was so much that I needed to unpack that wasn't just her and I. That was like childhood type stuff.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have ever been to where I'm at now. So the first thing was counseling, and I think admitting that it wasn't all her, that it was me. I'm like, I need to fix me before I can carry on.
Is there like one or two big things that you notice in yourself that, like, example, anger or jealousy or communication? I'm trying to think of like things in me that I'm working on. Were there one or two things that you're like, dang, this is an issue? And if it did come from childhood.
Yes, 100% yes. I think one thing that came out of it was, and one thing I never thought, I lost my independence. And I didn't even know I lost it. And it really had nothing even to do with my marriage. So I'm an identical twin. And up to that point, everything I did was with my twin. And then I got married. And then it shifted, and I kind of put my independence like cohabitating with my wife. So after we divorced, I was like, I don't have anything. And I relied on like my sister for everything. And I think going through counseling, it was like, how do I find me after a divorce? Because I used to have my twin, who then was in a relationship. Yeah. I'm like, I have nobody. And it was such a dark time. And I was like, wait, I need to find me. And counseling helped me realize you can do stuff on your own. It's going to be okay. So I think that was the biggest thing for me, was finding my independence and not relying on somebody else to constantly fill my bubble.
So for anyone else that's listening and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going through something similar, or I've lost myself, or I don't know how to do things alone. I always have to have people, right? Like we become this, like, how do I do this? Like, how did you find your independence?
I think it started small. And I think I remember one day I left counseling and we were talking about just starting small and just whatever it was. I think maybe going grocery shopping or something alone, starting small, just doing it and not thinking about it. I mean, hindsight now, I'm an overanalyzer. Just to do it and not think about it. I still struggle now with saying yes to things without overanalyzing. But at that time, it was like, just do the small things. by yourself. And when I started doing them more often, I was like, oh my gosh, where has this been in my life? Why haven't I been doing these things by myself the entire time?
Yeah.
Because I think we always take the easy route and just do it with somebody else.
Yeah.
The small things, very small.
Okay. So telling anyone out there, like, start small, right? Like, go to a park by yourself, go grocery shopping by yourself. The more you do small things, it just becomes habit, natural. How do you feel you are now?
Well, I think I found even after the divorce, going through counseling, after my divorce, I hit rock bottom. Like, I literally had nothing. I was living with my twin sister at the time and going through counseling, trying to go through the loss of my wife and trying to find myself again. So I think I slowly started to write goals for myself, physically writing them down, not just like, oh, someday I'd like to buy a house. Physically wrote down, I want to buy a house, bought my house 10 years ago, moved in here with nothing, and doing the things on my own to make this my own house has taught me so much about myself, knowing I can do all this on my own.
Yeah.
When I started with the counseling, knowing that my issue was not being able to like function without somebody there all the time.
Okay.
And now it's my home, and this is all I know is independence.
Yeah. Okay. So I do have a question about that. This is all I know is independence. Do you think you know how to be in relationship to depend on someone? Or do you think you've gone so far over this way that now you're so terrified? Maybe terrified is not the right word.
No, that might be right.
Terrified. So terrified to go slip back into like, what if someone takes it from me again? That I don't even want to allow. I don't want to say someone in, but like that whole idea of like falling back.
Yeah. When you asked me that, I feel like my throat just got tight. I'm like, yes, sharing my space with somebody, a day or two, a couple days is fine. But I've always told myself I love Beth time. And I do.
Yeah.
But I also want to know what it's like to live with somebody, and I haven't lived with somebody. So I don't know what that's like. I'd like to say I don't need the independence. Like, I don't want that forever, but it does scare me.
Yeah.
Thinking of sharing my house with somebody and breaking my habits, which they need to be broke, because I'm a creature of habit, it scares me to death.
I mean, I will say I haven't lived with anyone for a long time, but I would also, it's easy to date when you're not living with someone or when you're just spending like little bits of time because you know eventually they're going to leave. You can go back to your way of living. You can put everything back in its spot. You don't have to, like, for me, I just apparently like to be messy. I didn't know how messy I like to be until my boys have moved out and I come home and I'm like, why is it such a mess in here? And I'm like, dang it, it's me. And then I'm like, what if I start dating someone and then we move in together and now I have to be clean again?
I think there's a good balance.
I do think there's a balance. And sometimes I think right now I'm in a weird space of I've never been here before with no children to like have to do anything for.
Yeah.
So it's like a different kind of freedom. But I do like the dance of you teach me some things, you teach me some things. Like we teach each other things where we both have to let go of habits here and there.
Yes, because I know I'm a creature of habit. So when things are like out of place, sometimes I panic. I know that it's just a temporary thing. And bigger picture, like if I want somebody in my life long term, that's such a minor thing to worry about. But it's in the back of my mind. I am giving up not my freedom, because I want to give that up. Like I want to share my space with somebody.
And if it's the right person, is it giving up your freedom or is it just seeing it in a different way?
Yeah, I think it's them sharing my life with me, because my life here is great, but I want to share it. It's not fun picking up my own mess.
No, it's really not. And my dog and cat, no one helps out. Gunnar doesn't help and Oliver doesn't help. And if anything, Oliver makes a bigger mess with my plants. Okay, so independence, finding yourself, maybe a little bit over independent.
Yeah, I guess I never thought about that until you just asked. How I came from having to always, even before I got married, my relationships were always short, sweet, move on to the next one.
Yeah.
And then I got married. Yeah, just like Tracy. And then I got married, and then I realized, like, why did I always think I needed somebody? I don't need somebody constantly. And now I'm completely opposite of that. Like, since my breakup, I've had one serious relationship. And it's been how many years? So a lot. It's been a lot. So it's funny now that you say that. I'm understanding that I craved dependency at the time. Now it's like, am I over independent? So
I think that's.
Thank you for bringing that
You're
up.
very welcome. That's a suitcase you can unpack it.
Yes, it's a big one.
But what are some other things maybe that have come out of your marriage that you're like, man, if I would have done this different, or if I would have done this different, maybe I could have let different things go.
That's tough.
Besides the dependence thing.
Yeah, because when I was married and even after that, I didn't even realize that was an issue. But I think it maybe goes back to seeing some of the, I'll call them like yellow flags early, because it was the honeymoon phase and I thought, this is it. This is forever. I pocketed those like, oh, that it'll be fine once we're married because she wants to be with me forever. And then once that commitment was made, the skeletons came out of the closet. But they were there. I just ignored them originally. So I think had they come out earlier, maybe we talked about them, they would have been easier to handle. But the signs were there early on, and I just kind of put them away. Like, nope, this is what I want is marriage. This is what everybody wants. And, I had the person at that time thinking this is it. And like, I ignored those flags early on, and I shouldn't have.
That's very annoying to ignore in hindsight, right? Like I was listening to a podcast today about how we see so clearly the only way we like learning in life and seeing clearly and understanding was when we look backwards and you can clearly see like, oh my gosh, this has happened because of this, this, and this. But like moving into the future, like we just can't see it. We're so blind to it. And the yellow flags, the red flags, I feel like we see and we're having fun at the circus and we just don't want to deal with that. But like, I think the yellow flags are harder because it's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal.
You don't want to make a big deal. You don't want to turn it into a red flag. You want to turn it into a green flag. Like, it's okay, but don't pocket them. I think that's what I did. I never even addressed it, never talked about them. I literally put them in my pocket.
Could you give me an example of a yellow flag? And it can be from anything that you wish you would have just had a conversation about instead of pocketing it.
Yeah. One of the issues, I won't go too deep into it, but it was mental health struggles and doing something to address that was never talked about. It was a very negative thing, like going to get help, getting a medication, talking to somebody was a very like, no, we're not going to do that. I'm bigger than that. I'm better than that. So as soon as I saw that come up, I knew that was her stance on it. So it was never talked about. So I just put the flag in my pocket thinking, that's okay. She wants me forever. Those issues will go away. And they don't.
It did not.
No.
Okay, so anyone listening, don't put the yellow flags in your pocket. Red flags are a big no. Walk the other way. Yellow flags, have the conversation.
Wave them in the air.
Wave them in the air. Have the conversation. That is something that I wish, and I know you and I have talked about this, like I wish I would have been braver enough to have hard conversations right away, because then it would just either take the elephant out of the room, everyone knows where we stand, and you can make decisions better instead of thinking, well, it's going to get better.
Yeah.
Or I can change their mind. Or I'm sure with enough love, because all we need is love, that it will all work itself out.
That's so true. And I think early on, I didn't want to push. I didn't want to step on toes. I didn't want to upset her. So I tiptoed around it and was, talk about it. And her lack of talking about it was a sign for me that I should have been like, this needs to be talked about. But talking about it more just made the problems worse, which another sign.
Because I also am thinking to myself, yes, it was her issue, okay? But how much am I showing my self-worth, right? When we are standing up for ourselves, when we are putting ourselves first, when we allow someone to say, nope, we're not going to talk about that. And we're like, oh, okay. Are we automatically telling ourselves now, well, my feelings aren't important, and then they're not valid? So it's like the first step of self-abandonment is when someone's like, we're not talking about that. And you are like, okay, cool. Instead of saying like, no, my feelings are just as valid in this. And I am worth it. I am worth this hard conversation. I am worth whatever fight is about to happen. And if you can't see that, it's like a way for you to stand up for yourself.
100%. And the Beth today,
yes,
definitely stand up and have the conversation, because sometimes I just talk too much. Back then, my self-worth was so little that that's what happened. Her word was
the word.
The word. So when she didn't want to talk about it, I was like, yes, ma'am, we're not talking about it. I would have never questioned it. I would have never been like, but wait, are you sure? The person I am now would have been like, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it when you're ready. But that was not 100%. And I can see my self-worth has changed so much since I was married until now, where if I'm not getting what I want, I would have never backed down and been like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, let's just leave it there. Now I'm like, no, we have to talk about it. But I think that's the flag that I pocketed, instead of pulling it out and then like, let's talk about it. I was like, okay, nope, you don't want to? Sweet.
I think that's really hard. It's really hard. It's scary and it's hard when you love someone because it's like, I might have to leave this person if I had this conversation. And I totally understand everyone who's like, but that's when you should leave. And I get that. But you know those emotions run deep and that love runs deep. And especially if your self-worth is not where it needs to be, it is just like, I just don't want to lose this person. But that's where I keep coming back to like, if I love myself enough, I would be okay with saying like, well, I gotta lose you then. Yeah, like this is where I'm at. And I think too, I was so scared to push because I knew if I pushed, she would get angry and explosive and to the chaos.
Yeah. And I would just be like, oh God, I'd bring down and I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? So I avoided it where now I don't avoid tough conversations, but I do agree having them early on would avoid that in the long term. But I was not in a place back then. I was much younger, obviously. I would have never known to even have that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now it's like hindsight, looking back, I'm like, well, duh. Why did I do that?
I know. It's like, dang it. I could have. And that's the thing is like, I could have avoided heartbreak. I could have avoided a lot of things. However, because of that, it catapulted you into this like, I got to get my shit together. Something is not okay. This should not have happened. What do I need to do? Because of that, and as sucky as heartbreaks are, it just catapults you. If you do it, if you're willing to look within, that's the other thing I'm going to say is like, not a lot of people are willing to sit with themselves and be like, I'm not going to blame the other person because it was me.
Yeah. And I think.
And not because everything was me. Maybe some things were that. Yeah. But like at the end of the day, like what was my part in this?
Right. We all had accountability and both of us had accountability in it to a certain degree. I mean, I definitely, first year I took full blame, like it's all me. And then I had hindsight a little bit later, like maybe it was her. Regardless, it's fine now, but had that not happened, I don't know where I'd be. Yeah. That was literally life-changing. Good. We got married and at the time it was the best thing ever. Then I hit rock bottom, but had I not hit rock bottom, I'd never be where I am today. Like, I don't know the person that I would still be if I was mentally, emotionally still that same way. It's wild to think, had you met me 10 years ago, you'd be like, who is this? Who's this girl?
Isn't that crazy? I don't know. Like sometimes I don't want to like thank people that broke me or broke my heart or whatever, but it's like also
thank you card.
Also thank you because you've made me into this amazing person. And also you can have my energy. But we've talked about your self-worth. We've talked about pocketing yellow flags and just knowing your worth and knowing yourself. Let me ask you this. What does healing look like for you? How do you know you're healed?
I don't know if I'll ever know if I'm like 100% healed, but I know, I think it's twofold. Like I have a vision in my head that I have this big old toolbox, lots of drawers and tools that I can pull out. So when I'm feeling away, I know how to handle it. Because I think I'm always going to be, there's always going to be something I need to heal from. Yeah. Whether it's like family, friends, love, things happen. I can't avoid that. But I feel I have a bigger toolbox that I can be like, oh, this is the problem. I've got the right tool to get me through it and not stay in a place where I'm not happy.
Like where you get stuck.
Right.
Because it's kind of like, okay, I'm feeling this.
Yeah.
I have 3 different things I can do to get myself out instead of just like wallowing.
Right. And staying in a negative space, I know how to get myself out quicker than maybe I did before. So I can envision this like toolbox. I'm like, okay, I know how to, I've read stuff about it. I know how to handle this. Bring it. Let me try it. So that's what I think of. Like I said, I don't think I'll ever be healed, but how to handle life. I feel like I have a big toolbox.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever healed because I feel like new triggers come up and then you're like, oh, son of.
It's like, I don't have the right tool for this.
I don't have the right tool, or like something still hurts, like a little wound still opens up. But I can tell I'm healing when A, I don't react the same way. B, I can acknowledge like, ooh, that triggered something. I'm not going to lash out. There is something going on here, and let me figure out how to like go within and work on that.
Yes. I think for me, it's not, I'm quick to react. So if something like zaps me, I'm like, oh shit, that hurt. Maybe in the past I would instantly react and like talk or get upset. But when I have that trigger, I think first, like you said, identifying it like, oh, I'm triggered. Now let me go find the right tool instead of just reacting out of pure emotion.
Right.
Identifying when that happens is so big.
Oh my
and
gosh.
it's like you take the moment to think, oh my God, that just happened. Now what?
And you're not letting the moment control you. I wish more people understood that when they're feeling triggered and they want to just lash out at someone for whatever reason, right? And they justly, I think that's the right word, they are justified to feel whatever way they want to feel. But I wish more people understood that those triggers are what's showing you parts of you that are still needing love, that are still needing grace. And it's okay to feel that way. And the quicker you're able to say like, whoa, I am feeling this, the quicker you are able to like deal with the problem instead of maybe lashing out about it or going off at a friend or doing something so stupid that you normally wouldn't. And now you have to like repair all of this other stuff because you weren't just like, oh, dude, I'm being triggered right now.
Yes. Was this the 5-second rule or whatever it is where you're triggered and instead of just like, oh, react, blow up, get mad, say nasty things, it's you do the box breathing or taking that second to be like, oh shit, something's gonna blow. Let me just take a minute and uncover what is about to happen. Yeah. I agree with that.
Okay, as we are getting toward the end, wrapping it up, I'm wondering if there's anything else you would like to share with our thousands of listeners in either the importance of healing, the importance of being reflective, or self-worth.
I'll say, and this might be way not what you were thinking, but so I journal daily. But I think one thing that's really helped me too is being grateful. So at the end of the day, I always end my day writing what I'm grateful for because to me, it's like it ties everything together. Like I don't care how bad my day was. I know I'm going to bed. This is what I'm thankful for and being grateful. Being grateful, giving it, receiving it is great, but giving it and just sharing like how grateful you are. I know some people may get like annoyed by it, but I feel like there's just not enough of it.
Yeah.
Finding myself doing that every single night and writing down at least 3 things. 3 simple things. It could be something as simple as the sun was out today.
Yeah.
Ties up my day so great that I just want to share it and be like, everybody just needs to just write down end your day with being grateful. It just makes my heart smile.
I think that's grateful. I think that's great. And I'm grateful that you have shared that. I'm also very grateful that you share your story. Like it is not easy to come on a podcast with thousands of listeners.
Hi.
It is not easy to also share about a divorce or a past relationship and to own, hey, I had to look at myself. I had to do X, Y, and Z. And there's plenty of people that are going through stuff right now. And I'm just very thankful that you were willing to do this.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
We should do it again.
Okay. All right. Friends, we are going to wrap it up and I look forward to talking with you again next Sunday. So until then, please stay cute.
And dance even though nobody's watching.
So until next Sunday, stay cute and remember dance even if everyone is watching. Bye.